Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, particularly those noble souls in this green outfit. Maybe there should have been more of those, in green uniform, because they really mean something to me. In other words, they are all out for green energy. A lot of other people may be talking about it, but I don't think a lot of them are not that serious. Now coming back to this, what I'm supposed to talk, I have 78 slides, I cut it down to 58. So I'm supposed to do 28. How I'm going to do it is going to be something different. Maybe I will cut good ones. Let's see. Without wasting time, let me go through it. This is how the palm oil mill biomass scenario is like. I hope you understand this here quite well. To begin with, is 100 metric tons of FFB. FFB means fresh fruit bunch. When you have to cook it, pressure cook it, for about 90 minutes at a pressure of 45 psi, or 3 or 4 bar. After that, you have to strip it. The word is stripping, not other stripping. You can call it crushing as well. So the fruits will be detached from the bunches. Can you hear me on? Oh, thank you very much. So you have to get the fruits detached from the bunch. The bunch is the empty, the other one is called empty fruit bunch. And it has become the main actor in this renewable energy program. Everybody who comes as consultants to this country from overseas, they talk about empty fruit bunch is the very important fuel for developing RE in Malaysia, without really knowing the problems associated with it. It is not at all an easy fuel. Probably the worst fuel in the world is empty fruit bunch, because it's mostly water. 65 to 70% water. If you want to transport from A to B, you're going to pay for the water. And it becomes uneconomical for you to do that in a centralized place. And if you want to, what is happening here? Auto system. Because of this, renewable energy programs for using EFE as a fuel met with a lot of obstacles. When I was seconded to UNDP to develop this project under UNDP, GEF, this Global Environmental Facility, this was undertaken by UNDP. We had a grant of about 9 million ringgit and another 5 million ringgit from Mesita. We had 14 million ringgit parked in bank industry. It was getting rusty, nobody wants it. All the big industries refused to give us even one empty fruit bunch for us to start our project. They said we want it for our plantation for mulching. Before that they were burning it, but now they need it very badly for mulching. The reason was this, they just didn't want to do it because the returns were poor. They wanted 20% returns. I said this is not the way they look at it in Western countries. They do it out of natural love for renewable energy, not for making profit. If it is 20 cents from fossil fuel generated fuel, they're willing to pay 40 cents. Why can't we think that way? If they can do it, why don't we think that way? You must have a genuine love for the environment. You must be willing to sacrifice. Not simply say, we like to do it, but we want 20%, 50% profit. This is a sacrifice you had to make. You want the next generation or the following generation to benefit. We have to think seriously on those things. That's why we are failing. We have been failing all around. In fact, out of the Southeastern countries, we are lagging behind. Why? We have the technology, and this being given, Malaysian technology is used in Thailand to develop RE there. And why don't we do it here? Simply because of this money problem. Now the tariff has changed from 17 cents to 21 cents. We are making a beginning, but we have 40 over projects registered, but how many of them are running? Not much. Statistics show a very different scenario. It's not very good. The talk is still about profits. I'm deviating a bit, isn't it? Well, let's go to this first bit. We can talk about it on and on when it comes, Now coming to empty fruit bunches, 23% means 100 tons you process, you get 23 tons of empty fruit bunch. And after that, the fruits will be alone, will be detached, and you will have to go through a digester where it will be mashed up. Digester mash they call it. 45 minutes is the digester is ready for pressing. Then you go through a twin screw press, and the juice will be extracted out of it. And the remaining one is called Masoka fiber. That's a fuel. That contains about 45% moisture. The oil coming out of the press will undergo many more processing steps until the oil is purified. We have now, the nut will be separated out from the fiber. Masoka fiber contains fiber as well as the nut. The nut is separated and the nut is cracked and the shell is recovered, or rather the kernel is recovered. The shell will be another fuel. That comes to about, nuts will be around 12% to the FFB, which means 12 tons of nut, you will be having approximately 6 tons of shell. So in the palm oil mill, the fuel is the mixture of shell as well as the fiber. And empty fruit bunch is not used. You normally don't burn it in palm oil mill, but now, lately because there is a good price for the shell, it actually, during my time when I was in the mill, I used to get 5 ringgit per ton. Then the price started rising up when we started this RV talk. RV talk, the price started moving up. 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit, 50 ringgit, 80 ringgit, 100 ringgit, now 200 ringgit. Now what they do, they want to burn the fiber in the shell, in the boiler. The millers are doing that. So you can save the shell for selling it, because you get more money. And even empty fruit bunch are slowly introducing into their own boiler. Then you have more shell to sell. But then the boiler furnace is not really designed to take up that kind of thing, because this is bulky. It has got about 350 kilogram per meter cubed of the fiber, the empty fruit bunch. The bud density is very low. So the furnace got to be very big. But the boilers are not, it's a bit technical. I hope you will understand this.